Hello everyone, it's Ruby Panda here. Sorry I haven't made any content as of late, but there hasn't really been anything interesting to talk about in my opinion. However, with this recent season of DC coming to a close, I figured that we should at least take a look at each and every boss, and we can talk about some of the strategies and ideas that you can hopefully employ to get the 720k before the season is officially over. Now for this small demonstration, I will be using no corridors at all, and I'll try and not use any sinners that I have an excessive amount of shackles on. And lastly, I'll try and tackle each obstacle of the boss one at a time so that we can gradually build up the composition and you can modify it as you will fit your box. So speaking of obstacles, we can see the first one we have right here, which are these three elites right here. These each have 2 cores, so that's slightly a problem because it's so early in the map. However, if you know that we're going to be dealing with ads, we also know that we're going to be adding in Nox. And Nox can core break after having her Exclusive Crime Brand unlocked. So we're going to be running full energy on her. And we're going to be empowering her to get the ultimate as quickly as possible. But we still have 1 core we need to break. And that should already scream Labby. So now the main idea is to triple empower the Nox, have her break one of these guys each, have Labby finish the break, and hopefully have Labby break this guy down here as well. Now I want to demonstrate this idea, but I'm also going to be adding in Hamel for now, because she does have my Nightmare, and I do want to demonstrate these concepts with the Nightmare buff active. So, and for buffs, normal attack, and personally I favor enemy HP here, since that the boss is not really hard, and we're going to be having to deal with a lot of ads. So triple empower the Nox. Wait for her ultimate to come up. Break once. Let Labby finish the break. And have Labby break this bottom guy as well. And so here we see the first problem, which is that we're not done dealing with these 3 elites by the time that the second wave has spawned. Now this tells me one of 2 things is wrong with our composition. The first thing that could be wrong here is that we're not killing the elites fast enough. And the second thing that could be wrong is that we're not adding another wave clearer to deal with the 2 additional waves that are spawning at this point in time. Now I don't have another wave clearer built, such as Oak or Windy, so I can't really fix this problem by having it, like delegating the wave clearing capabilities to both Nox and another Sinner. So instead, I'm going to be focusing on killing these elites faster, which I can do in one of 2 ways. I can first of all buff or amplify Nox's damage by something through the use of like Hamel Exclusive Crime Brand. But I can also just add another Sinner, since, you know, we do not have a lot of Sinners active right now. And the one I'm going to be adding is also one that's going to be helping me kill the boss, Mess. Mess will be running Embrace for this demonstration. And nothing has really changed now. We still empower the Nox. Use her ultimate to break. Finish the break with Labby. And then breaking down here with Labby as well. Now I have basically left all the responsibility of killing this bottom guy to Mass, which has now relinquished Nox's duties as the wave clearer on that guy, and I can move her earlier on now to deal with the waves that are going to be spawning here. Going to be moving her back here just because of the stealth guy being kind of annoying. But yeah. She will deal with both of those waves, and now we have the last waves going to be forming, which again, Nox has relinquished herself the responsibility of dealing with wave 2. So we can now use her for wave 3. And now the final problem has been highlighted, which is 5 core breaks. This scene basically only has 2. Nox does not count here for the purpose of breaking the boss, so we need to find 3 more core breaks to add somewhere. We'll still have a few more slots, so we could definitely accompany that. In order to make this accessible as possible, I'm going to be adding Che, who's also quite decent here with the DC buff currently active. Now he only adds in 2 core breaks, so I'm also going to be Normally I would be adding in Infer, but I think a lot of people do not actually have Infer in this point in time, so I'm going to be using EMP instead. And a good position here for her would be here so that she can help Mess deal with this guy. I mean, she's going to be dealing no damage basically, but that's the main idea at least. Alright, so now we have basically built the full composition. We have the Nox, who's going to be taking care of dealing core breaks to these two guys. Labby finishes it, goes down here, breaks this guy, and Nox can handle all of the wave clearing capabilities of these two waves then afterwards. Then we just have Mess and all the core breakers necessary to deal with the boss in a timely manner, hopefully. Let's see how that goes. Power the Nox, use her ultimate, finish the break with Labby. Have Labby break this guy down here. And now we just wait for Nox to be done dealing with the two top guys, so that she can relinquish her own control of that, and go down here to do her wave clearing duties. Of course, you can always animation cancels to speed this up even more so, but I'm trying to make this as easily followable as possible. And now we see that the boss has exposed his cores. Our Labby is actually not quite up yet, which is interesting, but we can still start breaking. Doesn't matter. Now, the other thing that you can do when you have Labby and you do use some power like this is that you can just use Labby's ultimate and you can just re-empower her like crazy. And there you go. So basically the composition works. In your case though, of course, if you do not have something like Mess to the level that I have her, you do not have something like the Hamel. Well, the Hamel doesn't really do anything. The Nightmare could basically be on anyone. Especially since I'm not using any crown brands on the Syndos like Che. I believe he is completely CV-less. Yes. Now, another thing I've noticed that I didn't use my Mess exclusive crown brand last run either. This is because my Mess is exceptionally strong. Now, I can demonstrate this concept using another sinner or another boss killer such as Darren, but Darren is only going to perform better while also being able to contribute to the amount of core breaks we need, or being able to support Nox in the wave clearing duties. I can of course just demonstrate that real quick as well. Nothing here changes. And Nox is free. And this is where I have a decision to make actually, which is that do I want Darren to help Nox as a supportive wave clearer? In which case I can have her deal with these, or do I want her to help reach the number of core breaks that I need? In this case, I'm going to try and show Darren's capabilities as a supportive wave clearer as well. So by having her hit these two guys, such as that, and then we have the next wave that she's also going to have to help with. And we're now left with breaking as per usual. Use Che, EMP, break with Labby. And from here on, it's just Darren doing Darren things, basically. So yeah. It's basically the same idea. In this case, the Darren is just taking over the job of the Mess, while still doing a bit of extra work to help with the supportive wave clearing that Nox has a bit of trouble dealing with by herself. But yeah, I hope this basically all helped you, and I hope that this helped you secure a 240k at the very least on this boss, and I'll hopefully see you tomorrow as well, where I go over Dreadlord.